Hey guys, welcome to the review here at Go Main.
No!
Alright, well then, let's jump right into things. I'm your host, Cinder Blaze. Hoping today we have...
The Frozen Stratos.
I'm Aresol.
Yeah, alright, I ate like half that sentence, but we're just gonna jump into it anyway. This episode was one I was kind of looking forward to. I like the form. Okay, I didn't like Primitive Dragon as much, and I was really hoping that when they're gonna do the upgrade to that form, they would fix the reasoning and make something that had a little bit more sense to it, something to kind of something solid for us to really enjoy. Because I thought that the series was kind of going on a upswing,
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, we get that, we get a really cool form, everything is gonna be great. The writers just shot themselves in the foot repeatedly this episode. There was a lot of good. I thought the action scenes were fine. I thought that some of the exposition was fine. But man, I hated the reasoning for this power-up because it just did not make any sense whatsoever. Oh my god, what do you guys think about this episode?
I mean, I feel like the writing was on the walls for this eventual conclusion for this form, I guess. Oh hey, we have a kid, he's lonely. Everybody is telling him, Luna's telling him to befriend him, and the writers are setting it up in such a way that oh, there's an entity here, and it's a kid, and we already know from past experiences that Saber loves kids, and he loves jostling them. So, at some point, Saber has to go in and jostle the kid until he gives him the power-up. And lo and behold, he jostled his hand, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, he just wanted the kid to vibe with him real quick.
Yeah.
Literally. But you can't have that be okay, so this kid's issue, we actually learned this episode.
Mm-hmm.
He's like an ancient dragon, and he's the last one of his kind after every single other dragon has been hunted to extinction.
Yeah.
First of all, that's bullshit because we see them flying all over the place in the opening, and occasionally we went to Wonder World, or maybe they only show the whales there. So maybe they are actually dead, but I feel like we've seen dragons occasionally.
What are dragons if not sky whales with fire?
Yeah, but let's just assume that all the dragons are dead, alright? So Toma goes up to him and just they're with you, dude. They're in the air, they're in the ground, they're everywhere. It's you're just affirming that they're dead, dude. And this kid just kind of has this epiphany. He's oh yeah, they are with me the entire time. It's that is the exact opposite of what you should be kind of getting from this. Because he's not accepting the death. He believes that they're actually there.
I feel like I was understanding a slightly different setup than what we ended up getting, because initially it was brought to us that oh yeah, this form, the thing imprisoned in here, is holding on to a pain that only they know of losing things so integral to that or something. And I was like, oh, just like how Toma lost his friend and basically most of his memories from when he was a kid. So maybe that's the connection they're going to make. That's what they will commiserate on. But no, they went back to some of the earlier episodes and got the character trait of Toma reads things and he knows the end of stories sometimes. So he just told the kid the end of his own book.
I am kind of okay with the idea of Toma trying to comfort a kid via, like, creating a story for him, right?
Sure.
But it basically amounted to what you guys were saying earlier of him going, the dirt's your friend, the sky's your friend.
Yeah.
You got friends, right? You're not alone. You shake my hand.
He didn't even say I'll be your friend. He said the dirt. You got the dirt in the wind, man. Do what you will. How about we shake on it? Can I get a new phone now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much more to add to what you guys are saying. I 100% agree. It was not great.
Like, we can kind of like get what they're trying to go for with that. Like, like nature is kind of like there with you and stuff like that. They could like make that stretch, but there's just no connective tissue like at all. Like all of a sudden, this kid is like, "Yeah, you solved my issue." It is almost never that fucking easy. Like he missed the problem so bad that like rebounded off the wall and hit him upside the head, and he just kind of like fix it himself.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like maybe like this guy is so like old that his brain has like rotted away, and then he just kind of like accepts any answer. Like it kind of reminds me of like a Brave Soldier where like you're supposed to give the wrong answer to that giant dinosaur because that's the answer he likes. That's the one he enjoys. Like like maybe countless other writers have tried to help this dude. They're just like, you know what, like you have to like accept their death or something like that, or like I'll be your friend or something like that. He's like, nah, that's bullshit. It's like, you gotta tell me the dirt is my friend. You gotta tell me the sky is my friend. Like
No, asshole, I want something more whimsical than that.
Imagine like, because this kid has lost his entire race, right?
Yeah.
His entire species. Imagine going up to Superman and being like, dude, sucks that your planet's dead, but like, the sun still loves you.
The sun does love him a lot, though.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Imagine going to a kid and like they lost their favorite toy and they're crying about it, and to comfort them, you go to them and say, hey, your toy might not be here, but the dirt's your friend. The sky is your friend. The wind. How comforting do you think that would be? And then start applying that to like actual human beings that you can't see anymore. How's that gonna help? We're not even touching on the fact that we had a major character death.
Yeah.
I felt bad because like he was my favorite of the trio. He was so laughably bad, so irrationally angry, and they like actually killed him. Like he's at that awkward point in the show where I don't think they'll bring him back unless like at the very end where they reverse all the deaths. But like where does power up even come from? First off, it's just like when we see that, it's like, oh, so Toma's definitely getting a power up this episode, and he's gonna kill this form. I mean, at least it looked really good. Like, despite how BS a power up is, when we actually see it in action, I was just like, whoa, he's actually really strong. We have like Yuri there to like actually show scale for like how strong the enemies are, and if he's whooping his ass and Buster's ass, like Buster was just like a non-factor. I was like half expecting Kento to kind of like intervene in that fight and take away Buster's sword because he just looked so terrible with it in that fight, and I would have been okay with it. Like if he can't keep up with the villains anymore, then why does he even need the sword? But
I understand that the writers were probably building this up over the course of the last few episodes. Like, he was at his boiling point. Like, he defeated him once, twice, 3 times, and he's like, no, I'm fed up. I need this power up, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna kill him, and then he doesn't. But what it had amounted to in the last few episodes was he just had this random tantrum in the background that we didn't care about. Up until now, he got a new suit, bigger book, different colors, and he dies like he usually does. Or he gets defeated like he usually does, except more. And with a fade into a smile as the explosion happens.
It feels like such an afterthought, yeah, and oh my god, the image of his face over his exploding body.
Yeah.
He
was into it, dude.
So hard by that. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm dead. It's like, dude, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's especially weird because, like, it seemed like they were starting to, like, approach this idea of, like, getting through to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, reminding him of his past. And then they're like, Yuri's just like, they did something forbidden. You gotta kill him.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh my god, the flimsiest shit.
What? What'd they do? Like, these villains are such an afterthought.
Yeah.
They don't amount to anything.
Like, they have been at least trying to... we have been... I don't want to say praising, but we've been positively affirming them because they were like, hey, we'll give you a taste of these guys' backstory. So you can finally unravel what's going on with one of them died. You're just going to have to deal with that. There are 2 of them left. We're still going to roll out with this story, though, so, good job.
Yeah, and we get more, like, while he's dying, too. It's like, do you not understand what you're doing, like, right now?
do you not know how backstory works? It doesn't go in between. It goes before.
Like, while he's exploding.
Yeah. Not during.
Yeah.
It feels sloppier than, like... Well, I don't know. But remember in Build when there were the Kaisers, like the Remicon brothers? And at the very end, when, spoiler alert, they go to kill them, and then they're like, oh man, what if I was good though? And then they die.
Just to mess with Sento.
Yeah.
That's trash.
I feel like... This was at least just as sloppily handled. To, like, try something. To, like, try to bring... I don't know.
For me, it's mostly in, like, the lack of exposition from Yuri. When he's like, oh, they did something forbidden. They can't be saved. And, like, we don't know how they got that power up in the first place. We don't even know, like, how it's forbidden in the first place. Like, I can't even frame, like, what kind of, like, powers they're using and what kind of justification they have for it being forbidden. Because, like, random shit is forbidden in this, like, this universe. Like, certain books, the plot is forbidden, I guess. Like, you gotta tell us, like, why they push it to the extreme. Is it, like he can't, like, reverse, back into his normal self after this, or like, is he drawing energy in like a really corrupt and rotten way? Like, give us something. And when Toma starts off that fight with, like, remember when you were, like, human and whatnot? Like, we had this entire arc about you defending humans who turn into Megiddo. Like, that was probably your shining moment in that arc. Like, you consistently trying to fight against the rest of the riders who were, like, actually going to kill them just because they turned into Megiddo, and you were, like, the one, like, hope for people who did turn into Megiddo and, like, trying to save them from that fate. And Yuri's like, he's fucked, and you just
You're right. Yeah, it completely undermined most of what we had learned about his character, or like, you know, what was shown of him and his convictions. Like the second that there's any pushback now, it's like, oh, okay, I was just gonna kill this guy. That's fine. We'll just have this. I will say though, one of the positives was that Blades is back on the side of good. A sigh of relief was left my mouth when I saw him join the fight for the actual good guy team. And I was scared when he started backing away toward the end, but it does kind of look like he's, I don't know, gonna dramatically throw in his resignation letter or something. I have no idea. But
Yeah, that does seem like something he's about to do. Yeah, I thought it was like really adorable. In that moment, he's just brooding with Kento. You know, like he's in the corner with all the characters who are just like unnecessarily bad. But I guess he kind of like pulled himself out of there with that one moment. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad from there.
Yeah.
I will say though, you are kind of wrong, Glory. That wasn't the best moment of the episode. The best moment of the episode was in the flashback when the Backstreet Boys met Tassel and he gave him a really awkward ass nod. That was just the most uncomfortable looking scene. He didn't look like he wanted to be there.
Okay, like in that scene, he wasn't looking at them. He was looking straight at us.
Yeah.
Like we felt that.
He knew we were there.
Like when they're all like buddy, and that look that Zeus was giving Legiel, that was just like so campy. And like I think like was it Tassel just looking at all that and he's just like yeah.
Was that supposed to be treated as a reveal?
Yeah.
Like were
I
we
mean,
pretending
it's
like
confirmation.
we weren't supposed to know, or like did we not know? Are we pretending to not know that they were?
I guess like it was like heavily implied in the previous episodes, but like now they've like basically kind of confirmed it, you know, that those three were like part of that original gang and they were humans, because I don't think we knew that for sure.
Sure.
Because like Tassel and like some other people could be like residents of like Wonderworld or whatever, but these guys are like humans. They're just like, we're the first people to like witness this. That's great. That's awesome, guys. And like Tassel kind of gives them that nod, like he's gonna fuck them up so hard. And like we see like where they ended up. So like I'm kind of assuming that Tassel could be or could have played a role into corrupting them into whatever they became afterwards. Mm-hmm. Like he could also have a form like that. I feel like just imagine what he would look like.
A tree.
It would probably be... What?
Just a tree. Like he's got that thing sprouting out here. He's got the flower crown. I think he's a tree.
Purple tree.
All right, cool. Comments?
All right. Let's... I think I have him. All right. So, Mr. Newmind and Rocket Force 2 Wattpad Productions. Primitive Dragon and Elemental Dragons are my favorite forms by far the series. They are pretty decent. I think I'd like Dragonite the most, though, just because it just looked way too cool. And Elemental Dragon,
I was just going to say, I like Primitive Dragon a lot, but the Icy Hot form, it's... You know how forms grow on you? This is going the opposite way. I dislike it the more times that I see it.
You know, like, it kind of reminds me of third gen Pokemon, where you had the option of the remakes for Fire Red and Leaf Green, and then you decided, you know what, I want them both, and then you smash the cartridges together, and then you get this form. You know, it just, the colors don't work for me for this one.
I fail to understand why you decided to go into a Pokemon metaphor when all you really wanted to do was say, hey, they're smashing together two different colors that don't work together.
Yeah, but like it's those one in particular, you know?
It was green and
they-
red. This was blue and red.
Really? Because it looked like a turd-ass blue, but whatever. Let's move on. Maybe I'm just like colorblind and I'm just figuring it out right now.
Cool.
Yubel Mastery left a comment as well. This episode was so laughingly bad and predictable that I couldn't wait to see what you guys thought. And after the last couple of decent weeks, the show's back in the trash. Arguably the worst episode in recent memory. There were episodes that were so bad that it would make you angry, but this was so bad it was pathetic and a joke. I wouldn't say this episode was predictable. No one in the right mind would have predicted how that reconciliation with the spirit of the primitive dragon would have been resolved.
Yeah. No one could have predicted.
Toma has some 400 IQ to do a move like that.
No one could have predicted that we would stay on this shot of the JPEG of Toma for so long and have it like just move around in the scene and pretend like we didn't notice.
Mm-hmm. I thought you would have talked a little bit longer than that. I thought I could like get a quick sip in.
No.
Alright, here's our last comment. Reject Rasul. It was a good episode. They went the build route rather than the 0-1 route. When it comes to taking the Berserker form, new item that's for build or new weapon for 0-1, the fight scenes were amazing. Something's been bugging me. Since when is a secondary writer a job? We know Rintaro or Blaze is a true secondary writer, but characters take that position from him? Question mark.
What?
Okay, so we know that. Okay, wait. The fight scenes are amazing. Something has been bugging me since when is a secondary writer a job? We know Rintaro or Blaze is a true secondary writer, but characters take that position from him? Question mark. So
are they hiring?
I guess like Yuri was the secondary writer for the previous arc, so he's just kind of saying like when is like the secondary writer like an official thing? You know, it's more like it's a bit more fluid. I guess
I feel like it's whatever the promotional stuff tells you.
Come on, I was making a water joke. It was whatever.
Be water, my friend.
It was yeah. I don't know.
We can be done.
But they brought up my boy Rintaro. You know, like I feel like I have to defend him somehow, but I'm not coming up on anything.
I mean,
you know what? That's the end of this review. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that other jazz. We're gonna catch you later. Keep it juicy.
Bye.
Yeah, I bet you didn't see that coming.
I didn't. No, I was not prepared. I was not at all prepared.
Yeah, that's what happens when you disrupt my train of thought right there.
Choo choo.
Choo choo. No, it didn't even leave the station, dude.